So when I was at Disneyland, I kind of got lost in translation a little bit there. I couldn't find the flight info, and I took this picture, so I couldn't describe it or transcribe it. And then suddenly it shows up in English, which makes a little bit more sense for us. And hopefully this Lightroom episode will do the same thing for you. All right, so in this episode, what I want to go over is that what happened in the event that we move our images into the wrong place, and better yet, if we move a group of images into the wrong place outside of Lightroom. So let's say, if you've let's say you've made a mistake there one night and you decide to come into, I don't know, 2012 travel and under Disneyland. Let's kind of make this a little bit more compelling. Let's go back to Image Vault. Right there, perfect. So let's say you come out to 2012 travel here. Double click on that. And under Disneyland folder, let's say you select all these pictures in Disneyland and you just drag it outside. Drag it somewhere outside of Lightroom Knowledge. If you take a look at the hierarchy there, look at it, how the files line up together. That means that this is no longer under a folder anymore. If it was under a folder, as I'm going to show you now, you will see that there's an indentation. And there's more triangles most of the time, but usually there is an indentation notating that the file is actually in the subfolder inside a parent folder. So I've moved my file outside of Lightroom, which is one of those really bad, I consider, cardinal sin in a way. So anyway, that happens. I have all these question marks showing up in Lightroom. Oh my goodness, what am I going to do with this? Well, the best way to do it, to clean it up in Lightroom, is to find any files that you like. Usually you want to start with the first file, because if you select on here, if the images are named in sequence, what happens is it's going to find this file and it's going to move on forward, but it won't find the one that came before it sometimes. So let's select our first file. Let's click on the question mark here. And notice though that in Lightroom Disneyland folder in 2012 Disneyland is still showing 24 images, but the folder is not showing a question mark, only the file is. So here's where the distinction come in. In this case, the folder is still there, but the file is no longer inside that folder. So I'm going to click on the question mark here, and Lightroom is going to say, hey, this image could not be used because I cannot find the original file. Would you like to help me find it? Let's just say locate. Our file service dialog will pop up, and it will automatically go to the folder that we were in. In this case, 2012 Disneyland is just absolutely empty. So I'm going to go click on the 2012 Disneyland here on top, and let's go to up one folder to 2011 travel. Oh, and hey, long and behold, all my Disneyland images are there, and I know that I copied it there. So I'm just going to click on the first file. All right, make sure the find nearby missing photos is checked on the bottom. And from this point, I'm just going to click on select. And oh my goodness. So what happened there? Once I click on select, the folder just disappeared from my 2012 Disneyland folder. What happened? So if I go and look in 2012 travel, and if I scroll down not necessarily all the way to the bottom, but close to all the way to the bottom, I could probably find my Disneyland photo somewhere here. Ah, there we go. So when you relink a file, it doesn't necessarily put it back in the same location that you originally thought you put it. It actually updates the location of file without actually doing any harm to it. Well, there's a problem with this. I cannot find my Disneyland photos very easily because I have pictures from London here. Before London, I have pictures from Italy. And if I scroll down here, you can see in a second that Disneyland is just really squished in between the middle there. Okay, let me show you a little bit more. There you go. Disneyland is squished somewhere in there after London. I'm like, how am I going to clean it up now? So if we take a look here, there's one more method of cleaning things up. If you highlight this folder right here, you go click on library, and then click on show photos and subfolder. See, there's a check mark on there. So when you're in the parent folder, it's going to show us everything. But if I uncheck this, watch. It shows me now the accurate photo count that Disneyland has 0 photos. In the folder Las Vegas WPPI itself, it has 0 images. But if I triangle it up, it tells me how many photos are exactly in those folders. And this just means that in the parent folder, there are no images, as you can kind of see here. Well, this makes my life easy now because I can see all my 24 Disneyland photos. I'm going to Command A it, and literally drag this, again clicking on the image and not on the gray border, drag it back to 2012 Disneyland. It's going to ask me, do I want to move file? And this just say move. Let's just do it. So now my 2012 files from Disneyland are all moved into the right location. You're going to kind of see in a second. And because I have this new mode enabled, what's happening is that in the 2012 travel folder, it just shows me there are no images in this folder. But it also tells me as well, pay attention to the visual clue. The subfolders are not shown. Okay, so if I click on 2012 Disneyland, there's 24. Excellent. So now this number kind of shows a count as 0. How do I get it back to where I was before? I would just simply come back and click on Library and click on Show Photos in Subfolders. So I'm going to click on that, and boom, it's going to show me all the pictures that are in those subfolders. It's going to show me an accurate count of everything just right then and there. Makes it very simple, very easy to find our images. Okay?